In my 10 years in the construction industry, I've never seen a project finish on time. I used to think speeding up a project just meant getting people to work faster. But I've learned that simply working faster actually has nothing to do with how long a project takes to be completed. Projects get delayed long before workers set foot on site. And if you don't understand the true causes of delays on construction projects, you'll never be able to manage and finish a project on time. You can think of construction projects like superhighways. I don't know if you've ever been stuck on traffic on a freeway and you'll see 6 lanes clear. 2 kilometers ahead, there'll be one car pulled over in the left-hand lane and it'll slow the entire traffic to a crawl. The idea of focusing on rushing people to work faster is like trying to speed up in a traffic jam. It's the roadblocks that slow process, not the speed at which people work. So in this video, I'm going to talk about what actually causes delays on construction projects and what you can do to manage these. So there are 3 consistent areas of project delivery where delays happen. In the pre-approvals before the work starts, during pre-construction planning, and then during execution of the project. Approvals. These are the big ones. You can't start anything till you have the approval to do work. I have never worked on a project that is started on time. The start date of every project ends up being delayed because of approvals. These could be regulatory approvals, environmental sign-offs, or even the actual financing and decision to proceed with the project. You would be absolutely shocked how long these approvals take. So as an example, the average wind farm in Australia takes between 3 to 6 years from the original conception to construction starting. Imagine worrying about whether you were trenching 350 meters a day or 400 meters a day, which might have a 3-week impact on the project schedule when a delayed permit could literally cost you 3 years. So once the project actually starts, during pre-construction, there are 2 main areas that always cause delays. These are design delays and procurement delays. You can't build a project that you don't have drawings for. So there's 2 main sources of design delays. There's missing information or incomplete design, which causes idle time. And then there's incorrect and errors in the design, which causes delays through to rework. Both of these issues always contribute to delays on a project. The next source of pre-construction delays is procurement. So this means getting all the materials, subcontractors, and labor on site ready to do the works. Let's do an example for a concrete pour on the 1st of April. If we have a 4-week manufacturing time for steel reinforcement, that means we need the Rio to be ordered by the 1st of March. Say we then need an additional 2 weeks to get quotes from vendors, assess the quotes, get internal approvals and sign off, and then get a purchase order ready. That means we have to have gotten the quotes for the Rio by the 14th of February. So we need 1 week to do our quantity takeoffs and review the drawings. That means we need design drawings by the 7th of February. That means just looking at the lead times for the steel reinforcement, we need an IFC design and quantity takeoffs almost 2 months before we can start pouring a foundation. And again, that's just steel reinforcement. I've ordered power transformers that have a 70-week lead time. Okay, so once we have the IFC design and all our materials and subcontractors on site, we move into the execution phase. So what can delay us during execution? Well, as I said in the beginning, in my experience, it's never the speed at which people do the work. There's 2 main factors during execution that always cause delays, and these are the handover between trades and the final 10% of the work. So the handover between trades always causes issues if it's not managed properly. And there are 2 main causes of this: idle time between the trades because of poor planning, and incomplete work that hasn't been checked and isn't handed over properly. For example, say we have a civil team installing underground conduits, and then after that, our electricians will come in and install cables. There's 2 ways this can be delayed. The first one is we could have a delay because the civil team finish months before, and then the electricians haven't got their stuff together, they haven't ordered cables, they haven't planned the works properly, so the work is sitting there complete, but no additional work is being done. And we can have a delay because of issues with how the conduits have been installed. Say they've been installed incorrectly, they're twisted, the bending radiuses aren't fine to install cables, or maybe they haven't installed draw ropes. All these could cause delays once the electricians come to site and start completing the work. The next delay I see during execution on every single project is the final 10% of the work. Quite often, the final bits and pieces can take half the total time it takes to complete the project. And that's not an exaggeration, that's a reality. Labeling, documentation, final patching, construction closeout, defects, all these tasks take an unbelievably big amount of time. I think of them as the hard, confusing little jobs that no one thinks are important, so people keep delaying and delaying and delaying, and then all of a sudden you're left at the end of the job with this whole list of minor things you have to complete, and it's an absolute pain and takes 100 times longer than what you think it will. The only way to properly manage this, in my experience, is to address all the minor outstanding bits of work when you're doing the work. That comes down to very detailed planning, very focused on fully closing out tasks and handing them over as you do them, rather than bundling everything up and ending up with a big defects and incomplete works list at the end of the project. Okay, so the important takeaway, as a construction project manager or construction business owner, what can you do to avoid this happening? Fundamentally comes down to this idea that your role isn't to rush people through the work, it's to look ahead and see roadblocks before they arise. You need to always be actively asking yourself the question, what is going to delay us? What roadblocks are going to come up, and remove them. Your job is essentially to always ask yourself, are we fully ready for the next task to begin? And is there anything that could possibly delay us? That is really the essence of the concept from lean construction called pool planning. And if you want to learn more about how to implement that in action, then watch this video next.